you too can do a great mod by putting on dual carburetors. It will wake that car up. These are not bolted on or loose. These are 40 cadrons. Welcome back to the community, everybody, and thank you all for being part of it. And remember, our live chats have switched to Friday evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern. We had a great time Friday. I appreciate all you folks. I really, really do. And if you would like to take out time and buy a t-shirt, it helps support the channel, or stickers. Okay, today we're doing something different. While I took a week off from sanding and doing stuff like that, we are going to do mods, custom mods for the motor, the body, the car itself, and see what's available to you. And please go in the comments if you have something that I missed. I love stuff like that. So let's get rocking. But something I want to bring to your attention is, if you haven't had the chance yet, make sure you subscribe to VW Trends magazine. I'm really a big supporter of them, and they do support me also. Pop down into the description below and go ahead and subscribe to VW Trends. They do a lot of stuff for us DIYers and things of that nature. So when we think of these little cars that we were buying back in the day for 500 bucks, maybe even cheaper, tell me your story in the comments. We just think of a little Volkswagen Beetle that we ran around in, commuted in, had fun in, hung out. I know I did when I was young. However, back in the day, we were customizing them in the late 70s, early 80s, which would be early 80s for me. And even Kmart had Volkswagen parts. They had a section for it. I don't really remember it that well, but many people told me they do. And there was a lot more buggy shops around when I was younger, especially me living in Northeast. And the cow look was really big. The cow look I liked, and I did that to my 68 when I was young. Yeah, I was young at one time. Unfortunately, I do not have a finished photo of the car, which is extremely upsetting for me. But I did cover up all of the holes for the chrome trim and did quite a few things for it. I liked the sun visors. Not many people did, but I did. But the cow look was a fun thing. So let's get started on a lot of different things and mods that you can do and bolt on and attach that you may like. Now, I did do one of these videos quite a while back, a year or two, but I figure it was time for a refresher because not a lot of folks truly scroll back on the videos unless they're really looking for something. So it's always time for a refresh. Now, here's something here we have, a package tray. This is a really nice mod and addition because we really don't have a lot of room to actually put anything in here. And Heather loves these because, of course, you know, they carry a purse or whatever. It gives them plenty of places to put things to help out. And basically, that's where it goes. And it's nice. It does give you a lot of space under there, and they're relatively inexpensive where you can at least put stuff. I like it. I think it's a great addition. And while we're in the car, I love the old vintage steering wheels, okay? I actually even have an extra one. This one I'm going to refurbish and make it like new, and I'm going to put it on a marketplace or what have you, because I have a ton of them. But you can also get yourself a custom steering wheel, and there's many to choose from. If it was up to me, I'd have a smaller diameter, 3-spoke chrome dish deep, but Heather's against that, and I don't feel like arguing about it. So basically, I'm stuck with the old vintage style, but that's another nice mod. And what else is really cool? Custom door panels. I think that's one of the nicer mods. Some people do like to have the factory door panels. I see no problem with that. They do sell two-tone door panels. And of course, if you watched the video, Heather did diamond tufted door panels for me. Yeah, that one. Now, I just painted this door, so I'm not putting it on right now. But that's what it would look like. That's the diamond tufted, pleated, whatever you want to call it. But I think it makes a nice difference. Now, some folks do prefer the stock shifter, which there's nothing wrong. They've performed well since the late 30s, so to speak. But some people like to switch out to a nice mod, which is a custom shifter. Now, there is many different ones. I would prefer to have an old Hurst, but they're out of my price range. This one here is your standard ball shifter, which works great. They have T-handle shifter, drag shifters, a couple different kinds. So that is a really nice mod that I've done to all my Beetles because it makes the shift feel a little bit better. Here is one I highly recommend. I know I drive you folks all nuts about it, but custom seats. As long as you take your time and do the install properly and safely, you will be fine. I did this style of seats, and now I did this styles. These are Scat Pro cars. These are a little more expensive than the first round that I did in the last car. The comfort level is phenomenal. You can move them back much further than factory seats if you do your own brackets. Down in the description, there is a install video. I did 2 of them for these. It gives you more headroom. It gives you more leg room all the way around. Great seats. Great mod. This is probably one of the nicest and rewarding ones that you could do is in modifications if you don't have one. These are my factory German ones, so I'm very cautious with them, but you can buy aftermarket, is the pop-out windows. Because when you pop that open, and obviously it's not hooked up right now like that, and you can even buy extenders that make them go further, you get so much airflow through the car, especially if you have a sunroof or your vent wings open or your windows. It just circulates the heat right out. That is a good addition. I love that mod. I call it mod because if you don't have it, it's a mod. Now, as you're well aware of, every Volkswagen Beetle came with a driver's side mirror. But a really nice mod, and especially a big tip for safety, now I'm going to hold that here obviously, is a passenger side mirror. I don't have mine yet because I'm going with a different style. And they do make different styles. So a nice addition is a passenger side mirror, not for your passenger, but for you, so you can look over and see if somebody's coming. And this is one of Heather's favorite mods. A lot of people don't like that. They like to keep the padded dash on a 68 and up. It was for safety reasons, in case your head hit the dashboard. Do you really think that was gonna help much? But I like removing them, and it gives it that look of the 67 and back. And that's actually next week's video. I'll be painting the dash and the firewall and everything. That's next week's video. But you can go back to a metal style dash if you prefer to. And a really nice mod and addition again to the interior is console. Now they sell like, say, 3 different ones. So you got to choose which one you really like. I'm going to go with just the basket to put some stuff in. But they do have some really cool ones out there. So that's another nice mod. And I don't have mine pushed in all the way because I'd have to pull it back up. Here's a factory AM radio. It works very nice. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm either going to dump this and go with a single DIN, or I am going to go ahead and put it in the glove box and put gauges there. However, a nice mod is a sound system. You can even take these stock AMs and put a Bluetooth inside of it, but this one works good, so I really didn't want to ruin it, even if I don't keep it. So there's that, and gauges. Another great mod and addition is gauges. And here's an important one. That is a VDO, needs cleaned up, oil temperature gauge. Now, they honestly do have oil pressure, cylinder head temperature. A tachometer is a very nice addition. And you can buy the dash mounts plates where the holes are already cut for you. That is a highly recommended addition and modifications. Now, another mod I like, and it's not too popular with the most of you, is my original windshield on here had the chrome trim from the factory. Actually, I had all the chrome trim from the factory. I'm going to the non-chrome window grommet seal, so to speak. I did get a good one from Wolfsburg West. It's nice soft rubber for the front and back window. I'm not into the chrome that much. So that's a nice modification, almost matches up with that cowl look. So speaking of chrome, this is not the one for this trunk lid. A lot of people like keeping the chrome all the way around if you're not doing a cowl look. I do like the chrome. However, I'm going to be blacking out all the chrome. Is what I'm going to do. It's just something I prefer. And I'm going to put a Wolfsburg crest at the bottom. And I'm going to, my buddy Johnny gave me the idea. I'm going to take a Dremel and cut a little V in the bottom of the black chrome, so to speak, black trim, and make it look like it came from the factory that way. That was a Johnny idea, my buddy. So that's a nice mod, blacking out all the chrome. Which leads us to another very popular modification, would be bumpers. Now, a lot of people do like the factory bumpers. Some people will take the later model Beetles, like the 68 and up, and fabricate the towel rack bumpers on them. Some people like the Mexican bumpers, which I think look great. Me personally, I'm either going with the Nerf bars or the T-bars. And I am buying them in black. I don't think the Nerf bars come in black. I may have to black them out. But with my chrome turning to black, the chrome trim, and my bumpers will be black, I think they'll look good. So that's some other mods for you. Now, like I showed you that photo earlier, yeah, that one when I was an ugly young kid, I like the sun visor. The one I use, people say those are for Bajas, use the other kind. But I like them. And that is a nice mod too, is the sun visor. I put mine clear down to the end where it was like that. When I was coming down the road, it looked like a chop top. And it kept the rain off when you were sitting at the drive-in, many a things. So that's a nice mod too. It's a common mod that people use on all vehicles. However, the Beetle too. Now, obviously my vent wing's not on, but I call them rain gutters. Although these are the rain gutters, but they deflect the rain out so you can leave the window partially open when it's raining out so you don't get any rain in the car. Very good mod. Now, I'm not going to install these completely. I'm just holding this in place, but this needs cleaned up. It was sitting around the garage, but chrome trim from the bottom of the front and rear fenders. It kind of accents it very well, in all sincerity. And when you do that, if you're running any type of a billet running board like I did on my last car, although I painted mine black on the top, this is a nice addition. Looks crummy now because it's not cleaned up and installed. This is a nice mod. These are stainless steel actually, but they're going to turn black with the rest of the chrome, is eyelashes. And they will go on top of the headlights. Now, if you want to make your car look a little bit angry, instead of, you know, rainbows and unicorns and smileys, just take your little happy eyelashes and turn them slightly. Turn that frown upside down. Now, I probably see 50 to 60% of the Beetles with these is roof racks. Heather suggested that I get one for it. I don't really want one on it, but a lot of people, a big mod with them is the roof racks. And I do understand if you're going to carry things or maybe novelty with Coke coolers on top or a little bicycle, tricycle. I get it. I may not do one though, but that's a nice mod for folks. Now, you knew it was going to come to this also. Wheels. Wheels will make or break a car. So think wisely when it comes to wheels. That is one of your biggest mods you will ever do to your car. And currently, I have the stock these are not stock, the width. I have 5.5-inch rims on the back to accommodate the tires that we'll go over in a minute. So these are 5.5 in the back, and I have 4-inch in the front. Now, typically they're 4.5-inch. These are 4-inch, so they're kind of fat, skinny look. I believe these are off of a Carmen Ghia or something. I can't remember, but these are the 4-inch, so they sit in further. With factory wheels, here's another nice mod for you, is chrome beauty rings. Now, these ones are dirty. They need cleaned up. Heather actually did a video on how to remove rust from chrome, and that's in the description below. Beauty rings, nice mod. I got tongue-tied because I talk too much. However, you can either get the baby moon caps or the Wolfsburg logo or Volkswagen logo. That's what it is. And I'm giving you a side shot of the car because I did the fat, skinny look. And I love that. That's that 60s, 70s hot rod look. I'll bring you up close. What I used here, and I preferred raised white letters. I love them. Come here up here. Here's the size I got here. These are 205 60 15, and they literally are perfect. They're not sticking out, but they're not seating in far. So the 205 60s are a really great addition. I did a 155/80/15, and I do have a beam that's narrowed, so it sucked it in a little bit, but I wanted the 155. I didn't want the 165, and I wasn't fond of the 145. I had them before. It's just your choice, but raised white letter tires, fat in the back, skinny in the front, you can't go wrong. Now, that takes us to a great modification is your front end, okay? And it's nice to have them fully adjustable. Now, what I do have on here is a 2-inch narrowed beam, and it pulls the wheels in, okay? And I also have an adjustable beam. That way I can ratchet it into the position I need it to. But I also have 0 offset 2.5-inch drop spindles. So those automatically push it back up inside without any altering of anything. Really, it's just moving the wheel up because you're relocating the spindle itself. Very easy install. I even did one for a few people. That whole complete front end is a blessing. I love it because it's fully adjustable. So that is probably one of the best mods you can ever do unless you are looking for stock height. But at least you can change the height where you need it to be. And another nice feature that you can add, which is a great modification, one of the top 10 ones, is disc brakes. I have done them for quite a few people to help them out, and they love them. Honestly, when it comes down to it, I'm probably going to do disc on the rear, but not at this time. So disc brakes are a very nice feature. You don't have to adjust your drum brakes all of the time, at least where you put them on the front or the back. Really great mod. Now, a mod I will be doing, and this one's a little different than an average bolt-on mod, is I'm doing a removable rear apron. I will do the video on it because that's got to come up soon because of body work. When I put this motor in this time, I needed some weight in the back of the car to adjust the rear torsions. I could not believe I used a motorcycle jack and slid the motor literally right in. Like, it was almost too easy. It scared me. And they're not hard motors to pull with the apron on, but it simplified things. Another nice mod is a degree pulley. It is very easy to read and it simplifies things greatly. If you notice, I have a block off plate. And that is where your factory fuel pump would go, the one that looks like that. Thanks to Nate, V8 Nate, who had sent me an electric Carter fuel pump. That is a very, very nice upgrade, switching to the electric fuel pump. Now, some of you are going to say, keep it simple. Don't put electronics on there. I will carry a spare pump with me, a mechanical pump if need be. However, I like the Carter electric pumps, and that was very nice of Nate to do. I'm going to show you at the end of the video some of the things he had sent me. Now, as you can see, I currently have just a mechanical advanced 009 technically distributor. Cap wasn't on all the way. I am going with the pat down system. That's being sponsored by somebody, and I'll let you see that video in a very near future when they come here. I'm going with the pat down system. I think it's a nice mod and very nice upgrade that wakes things up. And yeah, kids, you too can do a great mod by putting on dual carburetors. It will wake that car up. These are not bolted on or loose. These are 40 cadrons, okay? You can also go with dual 40 IDFs, 44s, 48s. That's what I had before, didn't use them. Or dual 34s. So there's quite a few, but talk about a great mod, can't go wrong. Another good mod is a crankcase breather system. That is a great mod that you cannot go wrong with. I even did a video on that. It relieves the car from crankcase pressure buildup. Now, I have my engine in temporarily, but another great thing I did with mine is I did a chrome moly gland nut and a chrome moly flywheel. I did a Lighten flywheel because of my stroker motor. I just chose that. So a great mod is a Lighten flywheel, and always go with the chrome moly one. You'll thank yourself later. And a custom exhaust system. We all do that, the most of us. Here's the one I got. It's still in the box yet, so I didn't open it. That's what I chose to go with, a single quiet pack. I don't know how quiet they really are, but a popular one is a Sidewinder. I went with a 1.5 inch because I have big valve heads. So that is a really nice custom edition. If you have the space from the bottom of the engine to the ground, it's really nice to add on a deep sump. You can even do a 1.5 quart, but what lets you have at least 4 quarts of oil in the motor then, which makes the oil inherently run a little cooler. Some debate it, some agree with me, some don't. I don't care, but it is a nice addition to have more instead of 2.5 quarts, say 4 quarts. So a deep sump, as long as you have the room and your car's not slammed to the ground, then that's a great addition also. And here's something else for the motor that I almost forgot. If you currently have a generator, I'm not telling you to ditch it, but if you would like to upgrade, if you have a big amp and all kinds of crazy stuff going on, think about upgrading to an alternator. You can get yourself a new style, internally regulated, 1-wire alternator. This is a very good upgrade. And I even did a video on how to rewire for it, and I simplified it so that it's easily understood and easily done without running new wires to the engine compartment. Sometimes I think I get tongue-tied. Now here's another nice mod. I really like stuff like this. It's a chrome trim that goes here, and now I'm not painting it black in this area. This needs polished up. It was sitting in the garage. Chrome trim, and then your carpet comes up and meets it. I just think that's a nice addition. Here is a nice addition. I love this piece of chrome, and it lines up nice when you run a chrome along the rocker panel. So that's a nice addition right there. I think it really kind of completes the look. Another great addition would be kick panel speakers. So you can buy the housings to relocate, like say 5-inch coaxial down into the kick panels, is what I refer to it as. So that's another nice addition. There are so many additions. You folks may come up with more than I even did. And I wanted to give thanks. I try to do a little bit in every other video thanking people for the donations that they send in. And thank you for the PayPal donations. They really help. Now I want to show you V8 Nate, a good friend. That's exactly what I consider him. A very, very bright young man with very good skills at fabrication especially. He had sent me a few things, so let's take a look. Nate and I chat almost every day back and forth, and he had sent something to me, and I opened it up and was like, wow. So he asked me, what fuel pump you using? I said, just a regular mechanical fuel pump. So he goes and sends me a Carter electric fuel pump, brand new in the package. How nice was that? Came with the bracket fittings that are needed for my 40 Cadrons. Nate had sent me all the linkage parts. Linkage, look at that, will you? That is CSP. This is one of the smoothest linkages you can run. This thing is amazing. He even sent the extra pieces needed and special ordered them for me. How do you even begin to thank somebody like that? The special nuts for the intake that have the smaller heads on them so you can reach them easily. Gaskets, very nice high quality cork gaskets. I could feel like, wow, 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 wow. And I don't want to open this yet, but Felpro rear main bearing seal. Thank you very much. You even special ordered some linkage parts for me. Like, I am speechless. High quality stuff. That was very nice of you. It's going to go along really good with my regulator from Italy. I believe it's pronounced Malpassi, but that is a very, very nice regulator. And my son had 2 of these, a fuel pressure gauge. I think I'm pretty set. Thank you so much, Nate. I appreciate you. And thank you to Zoltan, who sent many things that I showed in a past video. That's who sent the fuel pressure regulator. And thanks to my son for the gauge and many other things my son has always given me to help me in the garage. Okay, it's time to go. So that is your mods video. And there are so many mods they make for these cars. It's absolutely amazing. And please put down in the description if you in fact know of a mod that I missed that you like. And I'm basically going with easy mods, nothing like splitting the engine case. That's a whole different type of video. I did leave one thing out, the deck lid standoffs I forgot about because I do have them, but I'm lifting my deck lid completely up and out, top and bottom. So thank you for being here. I'll see you Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Everybody's welcome to the club meeting, live chat. Have yourself a really great upcoming week.